This changes everything for the Dallas Mavericks as they just defeated the Denver Nuggets 123-120 in Denver without Luka Dončić in a game where they came out with the right energy, hitting timely shots, playing great defense, playing great team ball. Jason Kidd with his rotations and lineups. Everything looked good for the Dallas Mavericks as they were up by as much as 24 points at one point. And then the second half came where the Denver Nuggets made their adjustments and the lead slowly but surely started to fall away from us. But in the last few moments of the game, the Dallas Mavericks brought it back together. They got the lead back. They won by 3, and the entire team contributed. So in this video, we're going to talk about who was really standing on business, how did this game really look, and what does it mean for the Dallas Mavericks moving forward as they continue to play without Luka Dončić. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before we get started with today's video, we're currently sitting at 14,843 subscribers. We're getting so close to that goal of 15K, roughly around 250, 260 some odd subs away. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the live streams, the watch-alongs, the news vids, and everything else in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But before tonight's game, it was up in the air whether or not Nikola Jokic was going to play, as it was revealed that he did just have a kid with his partner, and he was away from the team for some time. His last time playing was actually against the Dallas Mavericks, where they beat us in the last few seconds of the game by no more than 3 points. But in this game, it was a different story. Nikola Jokic did play. The Dallas Mavericks were without Luka Dončić, but that didn't matter. From the opening tip, the Dallas Mavericks were playing very aggressive. We were up by as much as 11 points in the first quarter. The score was 20-9, and the Denver Nuggets started to go on a little bit of run, but we kept that distance from them to the point where they never really got the lead until the last few moments of the fourth quarter, but that didn't matter. The Dallas Mavericks were playing great team defense. They were playing smart. They weren't rushing anything. They were doing everything right in that first half that gave them that crazy 24-point lead. And going into the third quarter, things started to fall apart. The team was rushing, bad shots, bad defense, the rotations were starting to look bad, the timeouts weren't as timely as you want them to be. The third quarter looked pretty bleak as people thought that it was over. We were just selling the game. It's a big choke job from the Dallas Mavericks. Shout out to Jason Kidd for just ruining it for us. But it wasn't over just yet because in the fourth quarter, the guys turned it around. They played good defense. They didn't allow the Denver Nuggets to get anywhere near our lead for the majority of that fourth quarter. They did come back, and they were up by as much as 3, but the Dallas Mavericks were never out of it. Just like in the game against Oklahoma City Thunder, where we were leading for the majority of the game, we lost the lead, and we took it right back before the Nuggets even knew what happened to them. We were going into the fourth quarter, late in the fourth quarter, hitting free throws, team for team, trying to make sure we do the right plays and not come out flat, as we were the most clutch team last season, and things seem to change this season. But in tonight's game, all of that was just different. Quentin Grimes was hitting great shots. Naji Marshall was amazing off the bench. Our leading scorer with 24 points off the bench. Derrick Lively and Daniel Gafford both had a stellar performance. Kyrie Irving, who had to man the ship, maybe didn't have the most flashiest game like he's been doing, but he still played his role very, very well. So let's go over the box score, shall we? The game was amazing. PJ Washington, Mr. Stand on Business himself, with 22 points, 3 steals, 1 assist, 13 rebounds. He was 6 of 7 from the free throw line and 8 of 15 from the floor. And PJ Washington is a godsend. I know there's a lot of people out there that may want to trade him. They don't think that he's that good as far as his offense. But we have to appreciate PJ Washington for what he is and what he brings to this team. 13 rebounds, with 3 being offensive boards. In that 4-game losing streak that we had where we didn't have PJ Washington, rebounding was the issue. We could not get any boards at all. But then PJ comes back, and now we're on a 4-game win streak? Coincidence? I think not. I think obviously rebounding is important. That's kind of how you win games. You win the rebound war, you win the game. And PJ Washington, again, with another double-double, has been huge for this Dallas Mavericks team, and he has been amazing for us. PJ Washington had an amazing game today. But going down the list as well, Derrick Lively in 20 minutes had 11 points, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 6 rebounds, as well as 4 of 4 from the field and 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He got some foul trouble. He had 5 fouls, but that didn't take him out of the game. I think Jason Kidd, to his credit, did a good job of using Maxey to absorb a lot of those unnecessary fouls against Jokic. And if you're watching the game, Jokic was playing a little bit dirty. I don't want to just throw it all on him or the refs or anybody. We still got the dub regardless. But Jokic was getting real tangled up with a lot of players. He was hooking their arms, he was pushing them, and there was no calls. And anytime we try to be physical back to him, there was always a foul. So even though Derrick Lively wasn't in foul trouble, Maxey with 6 fouls, as he did foul out, took the majority of those fouls. Shout out to you, Maxey Cleveland. I appreciate that. And Kyrie Irving had to do what he had to do. It wasn't the best game, but it was far from his worst game. He did have 19 points. He had 1 block, 1 steal, 6 assists, 6 rebounds, was 1 of 6 from 3, and 7-19 from the floor. Again, without Luka Doncic, Kyrie has to shoulder more of the burden of being the leader of the team. He has to do more for everybody. He doesn't have the luxury of playing alongside Luka where he can just kind of get his as he normally does. So, in my opinion, Kyrie had a great game. Obviously, we've seen better from him, and I know he'll have a much better game on Sunday against the Heat, but I'm not upset by Kyrie Irving at all. But Klay Thompson, very, very interesting. From the box score in 23 minutes, he missed every single shot. 4 threes and 4 mid-range shots. All of them missed. However, he did have a +9, which was the highest plus-minus on our team. So he did provide some defense. I mean, he had a block. He had 4 assists and 4 rebounds. If you can't score, especially in the case of Klay Thompson, where we know he is nowhere near prime Klay. He's not that same champion from Golden State, where in 2016, 2017, he was a force. He's not that same Klay. But if you can't hit any of your shots, I expect defense. I expect great assists, rebounds, doing all the other things. And he did do that. I'd argue he could probably do a little bit more. But another game where he just doesn't score, where he misses every shot, can't be a recurring theme for Klay Thompson. Otherwise, that $50 million contract looks like it's just going right down the drain. I'll give him a little bit more grace, but if this continues, it'll have to be something that we have to talk about. You get a pass from me, Klay Thompson, but eventually it'll have to be a conversation. Continuing down the list, Quentin Grimes, again, continuing his hot streak of where he's just playing like a great role player. In 29 minutes, he had 14 points, 2 steals, 3 assists, was 2 of 4 from 3, and 5 of 9 from the floor. He had 10 points in the first quarter to really get us off to a hot start. He only had 4 points for the remainder of the game, which is totally fine. I think he did more than what we needed, and as a starter, he did his job. And off the bench, Maxey Cleveland, 11 minutes, he had no points. He had 2 assists, 2 rebounds, he did foul out. Like I said, he was really just there to absorb the majority of those dumb fouls that Derrick Lively or Daniel Gafford would have got if they were guarding Nikola Jokic, so I understand that. And Naji Marshall, the knife, or the butcher, as I like to call him, because he ain't no little pocket knife. This man is a full-on butcher knife. In 26 minutes, he was our leading scorer with 26 points. He had 1 steal, 1 assist, 1 rebound, but he was 3 of 4 from 3. Naji Marshall before tonight was shooting 16%. Hold on. Naji Marshall before tonight was shooting 16% from 3. Tonight, he was hitting his corner threes. 3 of 4 from 3? No, I'm not saying Naji should keep it going, but if you feel like you got that shot, you take that shot. And even though Naji knows that his shot wasn't falling, he's 16% from 3, that did not stop him today. Naji Marshall was amazing. And I will say it right here and right now, 6th man of the year. Naji Marshall. We're starting the campaign early, baby. He has been amazing ever since that Pacers game. Naji Marshall has yet to show us that he is inconsistent and he's inefficient. He finds ways to contribute either through high-scoring games or he'll get mad rebounds, steals, assists. He is everywhere and he can do anything you ask of him. And I just got to say, I love that little mid-range floater that he throws up. It's money. I trust it. I trust it with my life. Naji Marshall, 6th man of the year. We're pushing the propaganda. But continuing to wrap up this list, Daniel Gafford off the bench had 13 points, 1 block, 3 steals, and 6 rebounds. He was 5 of 7 from the floor. Spencer Dinwiddie off the bench had 10 points. He had 4 assists, 2 rebounds. He was 3 of 5 from 3. And shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie. I know at times I can be very harsh of Spencer Dinwiddie, but this game, just like the Oklahoma City Thunder game, without those threes, we don't win those games. So thank you, Spencer Dinwiddie. And Jaden Hardy in 13 minutes had 8 points as well as 2 assists. He was 1 of 2 from 3 and 3 of 9 from the floor. And the Dallas Mavericks, as a team, definitely got it done. They did everything that they need to do. Before this game, knowing that Luka was out, a lot of people were unsure of how you're going to win. I mean, Nikola Jokic has been missing a lot of time. Maybe he won't show up. So maybe we can squeak by. And then, like I said, before the game started, they finally announced that Nikola Jokic will play. And I was a little bit worried. I knew that we would have to try very hard. We'd have to play very methodical, very smart. Everybody's going to have to be perfect or at least close to perfect. And although Klay Thompson did not make a single shot, he was 0 of 8, we still won. And if Klay Thompson can find his rhythm, if he can find his shot, if he can be just a little bit more efficient, make 2 or 3 threes a night, we definitely just blow out some of these teams. But And regardless of all of that, the Dallas Mavericks got the dub. We got the job done. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. But only one player can stand on business. And guys, I'm having a very hard time of deciding who it is that stand on business. So tonight, we got to give it to two guys. Obviously, PJ Washington, Mr. Stand on Business himself. The man dropped 22 points and 13 rebounds. But Naji Marshall, he's got to get it as well. 26 points, our leading scorer off the bench. That's huge. That's a career high for Naji Marshall. So those guys definitely stood on business. Without them, we don't win this game. PJ with his scoring and rebounding as well as his defense. And Naji Marshall just being that spark plug off the bench. But another thing too, our bench was amazing. We had over 50 points from our bench alone. That never happens. This was a very balanced game where our bench produced just as much, a little bit less, but they produced just as much as our starters. That's unheard of. This is a brand new era of basketball. That's why this changes everything. We are winning as a team. But what's going to be even better is when healthy Luka's back. This team is going to be extremely deadly. If we can continue to play like we played today, just insert Luka, we can blow out anybody in this league. I believe that entirely. This Dallas Mavericks team is a lot better than what their record shows, and I believe that. But a few more things I want to show you guys. Like this right here. After the game, Kyrie Irving on the Mavs win in which they blew a 24-point lead but still managed to win, said in that third quarter, we just didn't come out with that effort. It starts with me as one of the leaders of the team. I got to be better. Make sure we're staying communicative and staying with the pace that got us the lead. So this was a learning lesson for sure. And that's amazing because I agree. That third quarter, I expected the Nuggets to make adjustments, but I also expected the Mavericks just to play good defense and to hold tight. Things started to fall apart. We got outscored 22-36 in that third quarter. Still had the lead, but that fourth quarter, we definitely had to tighten up, and they did. But another thing that I want to show you guys is right here. PJ Washington posted 22 points and 13 boards tonight at Denver, making his second 20-10 effort in his last 3 games. The Mavs improved to 5-0 all-time, and Washington Jr. records a double-double. PJ Washington has a lot of value. PJ Washington does a lot for this team. If PJ Washington misses a game, you need to be worried because who's going to put up those points? Who's going to get those boards? Who's going to do all the things that P. Jizzle does? I really hate that nickname, but apparently he says that's his nickname, but whatever. But we know that Mr. Stand on Business himself gets it done. And another thing, Naji Marshall. 26 points, 11 of 15 from the field, 3 of 4 from 3. You gotta love it. I love it when a player that isn't technically like one of our better players just has a great night. Obviously, Naji's great. I'm saying 6th man of the year all day, every day. But I love it when someone off the bench just pops off for a great night. It's amazing. And the last thing I want to leave you guys with is this right here. Found this very interesting. The Dallas Mavericks had a team meeting with the coaching staff and watched film immediately after the loss to the Utah Jazz, according to PJ Washington. Since then, they've won 4 consecutive games. So from that 4-game losing streak, we are now on a 4-game winning streak. And hopefully it continues as we see the Miami Heat on Sunday. But let me know what you guys think down below. Do you think that Naji and PJ stood on business? Do you think anybody else needs to get some recognition? Let me know in the comment section down below. We can have a conversation about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thanks for making this far into the video. Make sure to check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing a giveaway every single month on this channel. The only way to enter our giveaways is become a channel member of any tier. But until next time, y'all take care. Drink water. Peace.